Hi everyone, we are Sharon and Jamie from Sharonatsea Travel, and today we are here to talk about one of our favorite topics, West Coast cruising, and more specifically, cruising from the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach in Southern California.
If you have an upcoming cruise sailing to Hawaii, Catalina, Ensenada, or any of the ports in the Mexican Riviera, chances are you'll be sailing out of the port of Long Beach or the port of Los Angeles. Today we want to cover a few important things that will help you have a great experience when sailing from these two cruise ports. Although these two ports are just down the road from each other, they're actually two totally different cruise ports servicing different cruise lines.
First, the Long Beach Cruise Terminal at the Port of Long Beach is owned and operated by Carnival Cruise Lines. Only Carnival ships will sail from that specific cruise terminal. In the past few years, Carnival has put a lot of money into upgrading the cruise terminal to handle the increasing volume of people sailing from that terminal. They have also increased the number of ships sailing from Long Beach, although the terminal is only built to accommodate one cruise ship per day, so you will find ships sailing different lengths and itineraries and rotating the use of that terminal.
The Port of Los Angeles, also known as the World Cruise Center and sometimes referred to as San Pedro Cruise Port due to the port's location in San Pedro, California, will handle all other cruise lines sailing from the Los Angeles area. This port has two main cruise terminals and can handle multiple ships at its berths on any given day. There is one more terminal known as the Outer Harbor Terminal that can occasionally be used if there is a lot of port traffic. Although the name World Cruise Center would make you think it might be the mecca of cruise ports, it's actually far from that. The facilities are fairly average and the terminals are smack dab in the middle of a tremendously large and busy commercial port.
Next, let's talk about how to get to these Los Angeles-based cruise ports. Truth be told, we love to cruise from this area as Arizona residents. It's just a 5-hour drive and we love the simplicity of just loading up the car and heading west. But driving to these ports isn't always easy because if you haven't heard, California and specifically the LA area has some of the worst traffic that you can run into. So if you're driving to the port, congratulations and good luck.
If you're flying into the area, there'll be 3 airport options that you can choose from. The closest airport, with only about a 20-minute drive from the ports, is the Long Beach Airport. It's somewhat regional and the smallest of the 3, dominated by Southwest Airlines, but you might find flights on Delta and Hawaiian Airlines as well. With only an average of 45 flights per day, options will be very limited if you don't live in the southwestern part of the United States.
Your second closest option and the largest of the 3 airports is the Los Angeles International Airport. That's right, LAX. It's about 25 miles north of the cruise port and a 35 to maybe an hour drive depending on traffic. LAX handles almost all major airlines and has flights from most major airports across the U.S., as well as international flights. So in most cases, this will be the airport you will fly in and out of when cruising from this area.
One last option is the John Wayne Airport, located about 32 miles south of the cruise terminals in Orange County. It's a 40-minute to 1-hour drive to the cruise ports depending again on traffic, and this airport's much busier than the Long Beach Airport and handles major airlines like Alaska, American, Delta, Frontier, Southwest, United, and WestJet. Although most flights are domestic, you might find some international options here as well.
As usual, and especially with air travel in this day and age, we recommend arriving into town a day before you're set to cruise. If you can't do that and you have to fly in the day of your cruise, one good thing is that if you're traveling from east to west, at least you have the time difference in your favor.
Next, let's talk about getting around once you arrive in the Los Angeles area. LA is a major metropolitan city and offers every public transportation option you can think of. Uber, Lyft, taxi, metro rail, buses, but you know our preferred method of getting around. If we're not driving ourselves, it's Uber. If you travel light, maybe a bus or light rail from the airport can get you close to the port or your hotel. But all of our research shows that although you may save a few bucks taking a combination of buses and rail options, ride shares will be more convenient and in most cases will save you from having to jump through a lot of hoops trying to get to your final destination in the Los Angeles area. At the time of this video, an Uber, Lyft, or taxi will run you $40 to $70 from LAX to your cruise port or the Long Beach area, and the extra dollars spent will be quite worthwhile.
One last option is to rent a car from the airport you fly into and return it when you head home. But that can be very costly, and on top of the rental charge, you will have an average of about $20 per day for parking at the port. Again, for our family, we like to just get into the vehicle at the airport curb and out of it at the hotel front door. So we stick to rideshare options.
Let's talk a little bit about where to stay before your cruise. If you come in a day or more before your cruise, you'll have a lot of options. Depending on when you arrive into the LA area and what airport you fly into will usually dictate where you might want to spend your time. Getting into town later in the evening the night before the cruise, a hotel by your airport might just be the best and cheapest way to go. Now, the 2 cruise ports are surrounded by a number of cities that may be an option. And if you come in a few days early, you can even spend some time down by the beach in the Redondo Beach or Hermosa Beach area, just to name a few beach cities. There are a few hotel options not too far from the Port of Los Angeles and San Pedro, like the DoubleTree by Hilton and the Crowne Plaza, plus a few motel options as well. But when we spend the night before a cruise in LA, we usually look into the Long Beach area for our hotel stay.
Right near the Long Beach Cruise Terminal and a short drive to the World Cruise Center are the Hotel Maya and Residence Inn, and of course, literally 100 yards from Long Beach, the Long Beach Terminal entrance is the Queen Mary. That's right, the historic cruise ship that has been turned into a hotel and sits permanently at the port. If these don't work for you, right across the bridge from the port is the city of Long Beach, with many name brand hotel options like Hilton, Marriott, Hyatt Regency, and more. Prices will vary at these hotels, and the earlier you book a room, the better, as they can sell out quickly. We have personally stayed at the Hotel Maya, Residence Inn, and the Long Beach Hilton, and can recommend any of these spots for your pre-cruise stay.
As far as what there is to do near the ports pre-cruise, well, those options are just endless. First, you're pretty close to Los Angeles and everything that city has to offer. Hollywood, Universal Studios, Disneyland, California Adventure Park, sporting events, and the list goes on and on. We mentioned the beach cities close by where you can hit the pier, the boardwalk, or the ocean as well. If you just want a little more of a low-key experience, Long Beach offers some great coastal city sightseeing. There's the Aquarium of the Pacific, the Shoreline Village, Belmont Veterans Memorial Pier. You can tour the Queen Mary, and if it's not already one of your cruise stops, you can even take the ferry ride and go visit Catalina Island for the day. Great dining and shopping is available all over. Just don't buy too many souvenirs before your cruise, or your luggage will be ready to burst.
One more cool thing to do, and if you're cruising from the World Cruise Center, you can even do this on embarkation morning, is to tour the battleship USS Iowa Museum. That's right, you can literally tour the battleship before boarding the cruise ship on the same day. One more thing about these 2 ports, if you are driving yourself, they both offer parking right at the port. World Cruise Center has a huge uncovered parking lot with about 2,500 parking spots. At the time of this video, it is about $20 per day to park there, $40 for like an oversized vehicle. At the Port of Long Beach, there is a parking garage just steps away from the cruise terminal with a few levels of covered parking before the uncovered parking at the top of the garage. This garage has a 7-foot height restriction, so oversized vehicles may need to park in an adjacent lot. Last we checked, it was about $23 per day.
One more side note about the parking. The Port of Long Beach garage only has about 1,500 spaces, and on rare occasions, passengers can be notified they'll need to use alternate designated parking not far from the port, where the cruise line will offer shuttles to and from the terminal. Both locations will have you take a ticket upon entering and pay with cash or credit card upon leaving. Also, if driving to the ports, have your Google Maps handy to make sure you get to the correct parking areas, and bring your patience the morning of the cruise, as traffic can be a bit hectic at times. Not only the ride to the port, but as you actually enter the port area itself.
Well, I think that covers things for our Los Angeles Port Guide, but if you have any questions, please post them in the comments below, and we will do our best to get you the answer. As a reminder, if you are ready to plan your next cruise adventure on any cruise line from any port, anywhere, contact me, Sharon, at the email below. And before you click out, please do us a favor and subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming cruise content. And don't forget to share this video with family and friends. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.